If the idea of speaking to a large group of people just fills you with absolute terror, makes your palms sweat, makes your throat feel like it's closing up, makes your brain just go a million miles an hour, makes you feel a bit dizzy and disorientated, and to the point where you really don't think that you can stand up in front of a group of people and speak clearly and confidently, then this video is for you. It's not about becoming an amazing speaker. It's not about becoming a Martin Luther King level speaker. It's beyond me, I'm afraid. But it is about getting to that point, because I've been there. I have been absolutely terrified of public speaking. I grew my own business from scratch to more than 20 employees, but always avoiding public speaking. I was asked to be a best man when I was younger, and my first thought was, man, I hope that they call off the wedding just so I didn't have to do that best man speech. It terrified me, and the opportunity cost was massive. I did grow my own business, but I know that there were things that I shied away from, that I did so only because I didn't back myself. I didn't have the confidence to get up there and pitch to people or to companies. So I think it holds you back 100%. But the good news is that it's achievable. It's a skill set that you learn. It's a process in overcoming the body's natural fight or flight or panic response. So it is doable. The first thing you got to remember is, and the first thing you really need to internalize, is that it is 100% normal. There's no shame in it. Most people are terrified of speaking to large groups of people. And that's why it becomes a superpower, because if you can do it, my God, it puts you in that top 2 or 3%, and the world just opens up in terms of opportunities. So accept it's completely normal, and then you got to visualize like what is possible once you break through this, because you will break through it if you want to. It's definitely a foregone conclusion. It's a process you follow, but you got to take the steps. So it's normal, accept it, no shame whatsoever. The second thing you got to do is you got to start reframing this. You got to start telling yourself different stories. The brain will believe whatever you tell it. And if you keep telling yourself that, oh, I'm really frightened of public speaking, I'm nervous, I'm terrified, oh, I'm so scared of public speaking, you keep telling yourself this and telling other people that, well then yes, your brain will go with that narrative. But if you start reframing it the way you describe it to yourself, if you just start saying how, oh, you feel these, oh, that feels exciting, I'm excited about this, and you say it often enough, your brain will start to believe you. Now, you don't need to believe me now saying this. Try it. It's proven. It's to do with neuroplasticity and how the brain is really quite malleable. And if you do that often enough, you will start to feel differently about public speaking. It's not going to make all the change by itself, but it is a good first step. Reframe it. Next, what you need to do is you need to remember to breathe, because the problem most of the time is hyperventilating. And it's having an accumulation of carbon dioxide. So it's really, really important to breathe slowly, and you can do box breathing exercises, which is basically 4 seconds of breathing in, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and hold for 4 seconds. Do that a few times. But it's also important to remember that when you're breathing normally is that you are exhaling, because when you're shallow breathing, like this, like really shallow breathing and like worried and stressed, what happens is you get a buildup of carbon dioxide. So make sure you're doing long exhales. It's the exhaling that's more important than the inhaling. It is hyperventilating, which is breathing too much. That's the problem. And that gives you that panicky sensation. Another breathing technique you can look into is somatic breathing. Now, one of the things you can do from somatic breathing is breathing in for 2 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds. And you try and do it as smoothly and as naturally and as unforced as possible, but it's in for 2, out for 4. This just kind of chills you out a little bit and gets your body physiologically in the right place to be calm and confident when speaking. The next thing you need to try and remember is to slow down. The trap most people fall into when public speaking or getting ready to public speak is that they start speaking really fast. Now, when you speak very fast, you're sending stress signals to the brain. You're putting in that sort of fight or flight mode again, increasing cortisol. And it starts to think, oh, something stressful is happening, so it puts you in stress mode. Whereas if you start to just slow down your rate of speech, it sends the right signals to your brain, and also makes you way more clear in your communication. And it just calms you down, puts you in the right frame of mind. Remember also, which is linked to this, because if you slow down enough, you get past the other problem. And the other problem is the adrenaline spike. The adrenaline spike lasts about 30 seconds. So you really only need to survive that first 30 seconds. Now, a good technique that a lot of great speakers do is they get up on stage and they just stand there, they plant their feet, which I'll get to in a second. They take a breath and they look out into the audience. They don't start speaking straight away. It's part of weathering that initial storm. But another thing you can do to survive that first 30 seconds for that adrenaline to pass is you can ask the audience a question. Start with a show of hands. Ask some sort of question that's related to your speech, that gets people thinking and takes the focus away from you and allows you time just to kind of ease into it. That will definitely help. The other thing you can do is distract your brain. Now, the problem for me and the problem for everybody else in the early days of this journey is that you are thinking about you. You're thinking about yourself all the time. And how, what if it goes wrong? What's it gonna, how is it gonna affect me? What's, all these questions, me. But if you can switch it and change the perspective and focus on what your audience is getting from what you're saying. Focus on their experience. That gets you out of your own head and really helps disturb or distract you from those constantly repeating negative thought cycles. Gets you in the moment and I guess away from that stressful way of thinking. The other thing you can do is mindfulness techniques, such as if you've got a pencil, it's pretty subtle. You can just concentrate on the feeling of that pencil rolling between your fingers. Or the classic one, which everybody likes to talk about, is when you stand your feet apart, you have your feet flat on the floor. Notice the sensation of your feet on the floor, the contact between your feet and your socks, or your feet and the floor. It's a mindfulness technique that brings you into the body and away from the mind. Exposure is definitely up there with the most important things. There's no getting around that. Now, you can start small, start with a toast to, I don't know, if it's your birthday and somebody's taking you out for dinner, even if it's 2 or 3 people, just do a quick toast. Take the opportunities to speak to strangers in the supermarket or wherever it may be. It's just about making yourself a little bit uncomfortable in a controlled environment. Go to Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a group of, it's sort of like Alcoholics Anonymous for people who are afraid of public speaking, where you can go and you can, in very, very small chunks that progressively get larger, you can practice your speaking. And it is a game changer, because eventually you get to the point where you're doing 7, 8, 9, 10-minute speeches to groups of 20, 30 people, and it becomes almost like second nature. And you're doing it with other people who are either also terrified of public speaking, so you're amongst good company, or people who are good speakers who are looking to take it to the next level, so you kind of have people who can inspire you as well. So look, there's a lot there. I know it's a very daunting journey, but the greatest treasure is in the darkest cave. And you get through this, the world really does open up in terms of the possibilities and the opportunities that are open to you, because most people just won't do it. So look, if you need any more info, advice, anything, drop me a note. There's a link as well. Click that and I can send you through some more info. There's also some supplements that you can take that help with the nerves from physical perspective. There's a bunch of other breathing techniques and a few other ideas I have that I'd love to share. So good luck on the journey and keep me posted.